If you've been researching the best water softeners, chances are you've come across the name Softpro. We installed their Elite model on a private well in rural Colorado, where the water is notoriously hard thanks to mineral-rich underground aquifers. That made it the perfect testing location to see how well the system actually performs softening hard water under real-world conditions. In this video, I'll show you exactly how well the Softpro Elite handled hard well water, what our lab testing revealed, and whether it delivers good value for your money. So if you're looking for a water softener for your home, whether you're on well water or city water, you'll want to stick around for this one. The Softpro Elite starts at just over $1,100, making it just a bit more expensive than some similar water softeners on the market. But it's designed with long-term efficiency in mind, which could make that upfront cost worth it. One of its standout features is demand-initiated regeneration, which means that it only regenerates when it's needed, avoiding unnecessary cycles and salt waste. It also uses precision brining, which creates just 70% of the brine needed in advance and finishes the rest right before regeneration. This helps minimize both salt and water usage. And since salt is typically your biggest ongoing expense with a water softener, that efficiency really matters. Softpro estimates that the Elite could cut your salt use by up to 50%, which could translate into meaningful savings over time, especially when compared to older models that regenerate on a timer. So our experience testing the Softpro Elite was overall really positive. Right away, we noticed an improvement in the water quality after installing the system on the hard well water supply. Before, we were dealing with the usual symptoms: soap scum, lime scale buildup, that dry feeling on your skin and hair, and trouble getting soap to lather. And after the switch, the water felt noticeably smoother and more slippery, which is the typical of softened water. More importantly, there were no new lime scale deposits showing up around fixtures or in appliances. One of the things that impressed me most, though not without initial skepticism, was the system's official certification. At first, I assumed Softpro was being vague on purpose when it referred to, quote, industry leadership certifications without listing specifics, and I couldn't find the brand in any of the certification directories. I assumed this was a bit of deceptive marketing, which unfortunately I see all the time when reviewing water treatment systems. But just to be sure, I contacted customer support, who told me that the Elite softener actually is certified by IAPMO to NSF ANSI Standard 44, meaning it meets the minimum performance requirements for cation exchange residential water softeners. And it turns out the reason I couldn't find Softpro in any of the certification databases is because, well, I was searching for the wrong name. The certification is actually held by Canature Water Group, the manufacturer behind Softpro's units. Though it took some digging, it's great to see that this water softener has official third-party performance and material safety certifications, especially when so many competing units don't. So we also didn't experience any reduction in water pressure or flow rates from fixtures after installing the unit. The Elite is built for high flow performance and includes 1-inch internal plumbing and elbow connectors, which help maintain steady flow output. In terms of construction, it checks all the right boxes. A durable fiberglass resin tank with a neoprene jacket to protect against humidity, a thick-walled salt tank, and a pre-installed fine mesh resin. The control head is intuitive and feature-rich. You can set your water hardness level, choose salt efficiency modes, initiate manual regenerations, activate vacation mode, and adjust your brine refill settings, all from a simple digital display. Importantly, the components of the unit are certified for material safety and structural integrity under their NSF ANSI 44 certification. Maintenance is about as simple as it gets for a salt-based system. You'll just need to periodically check the salt levels and top off as needed. And lastly, I was decently pleased with what Softpro offers in terms of warranty and policies. The tanks are backed by a lifetime warranty, the control valve comes with a limited lifetime warranty, excluding the wear parts, and the circuit board is covered for 7 years. City water models even include a 10-year warranty on the resin, though unfortunately this doesn't apply to the well water model that we tested. There's also a 6-month money-back guarantee, but it technically only applies to products in their original condition. That said, customer support told us that they do sometimes accept returns of installed systems, as long as the tanks are drained, the media is removed, and everything is repackaged properly. You will be responsible for return shipping, which is why removing that heavy soaked wet resin is important. So while the policy is a bit more flexible than it appears at first glance, it's far from a hassle-free return process. Now let's talk about where the Softpro Elite comes up a bit short. Fortunately, this list is pretty brief because I was largely impressed with the system's performance. One thing that stood out was the lack of a sediment pre-filter or an offer of one. This was a bit surprising, especially for a system marketed towards well owners. It may be that Softpro assumes that well owners already have a sediment filter in place, but I think they do well to at least offer one as an optional add-on. Without one, sediment can make its way into the softener, reducing efficiency and potentially shortening the life of the resin. So if you're on well water and don't already have a sediment filter installed, make sure to add one upstream of your water softener. A filter rated between 5 and 20 microns will help prevent resin fouling and protect your investment. The other consideration is installation. Like most whole house systems, it's not exactly plug and play. If you're comfortable with basic plumbing tasks, you could install it yourself without too much trouble. But if you'd rather not take chances with leaks or setup errors, you'll want to hire a licensed plumber, and that will add to your upfront cost. When testing a cation exchange water softener like the Softpro Elite, we focus on calcium, magnesium, and sodium because those are the key indicators of how effectively the system is softening the water. And just to recap the basics, hard water is primarily caused by high concentrations of calcium and magnesium. In a working softener, those hardness mineral ions are removed and replaced with sodium, or sometimes potassium ions, which are harmless and don't cause scaling or soap scum. So in our post-install test results, we'd expect to see calcium and magnesium levels drop significantly while sodium increases. We installed the Softpro Elite at the main water line coming into the property, downstream of 2 sediment filters, a 100 micron sand separator, and a 5 micron melt-blown cartridge, followed by a UV purifier. Before installation, we collected an untreated water sample from the cold tap in the kitchen. Then after putting the unit into service, we collected a second sample from the same location. Both samples were sent to Tap Score's independent, certified lab for analysis. Our raw water test indicated a total hardness of 120 parts per million, which can be converted into 7.04 grains per gallon, which is classified as hard on the water hardness scale. It contained 30.41 ppm of calcium and 10.21 ppm of magnesium. After softening, those numbers dropped by 99.99% and 99.98% respectively, nearly complete removal. Total water hardness fell by 99.96%, and sodium concentrations increased by 635% from 7.26 to 53.42 ppm. That's exactly what you'd expect to see when a salt-based water softener is functioning properly. We also saw a few bonus reductions because cation exchange softeners can also reduce other positively charged metals, and in our test, the Softpro Elite completely removed both barium and strontium. So based on our testing, do I think that the Softpro Elite well water softener offers good value for the money? Absolutely. It offered exceptional results in reducing water hardness, along with a few bonus reductions, and it's clearly built for long-term reliability. With strong certifications, solid build quality, and thoughtful efficiency features, it's a system that should perform well for years with minimal hassle. I'd recommend the Softpro Elite if you're looking for a certified water softener that balances high performance with long-term savings. It's not the cheapest option out there, but it's also far from the most expensive. What you're paying for is quality components, proven performance, and industry-recognized certifications. And if you're still comparing your options, stick around. My review of the Springwell SS water softener is coming up next. I'll walk you through its performance in our testing, certifications, and what makes it different from the Softpro Elite. Click or tap to keep watching.